So here we go. How to create a 6 or 7 figure income as a highly paid, in-demand business coach, consultant, or advisor. By the end of this training, guys, and it's probably going to go for, I don't know, about 60 to 90 minutes, I guess. By the end of this training, you are going to see how it really is possible. This is not just some sort of pipe dream. I'm going to give you irrefutable, a preponderance of proof, if you like, of how many individuals before you have achieved it, and many after you probably will too. But the reason why I love sharing this information is because it's an incredible business model that levels the playing field. It gives nearly anyone the ability to generate their desired income, lifestyle, regardless of age, education, or background, if they're serious. Because many people, myself included until I turned 35, sort of felt that other people were entitled to be able to have the life they wanted and make the money they wanted. And maybe it's because they went to uni and had degrees and all these other things. I'm here to tell you that that is not it at all. That does not determine how successful they are or what sort of money they make. I know a lot of people, and I'm sure you do too, that have gone to uni that are struggling. And I know a lot of people that have been given every benefit in life, and yet again, they seem pretty sad, and they really haven't done what was hoped for with their life. So grab pen and paper, girls, boys, ladies, men, and let's start sharing some of this knowledge. Now, again, please make sure you find pen and paper. The information I'm going to share with you tonight, it really has the ability to have a massive impact on your life. So you want to be taking a lot of notes and really taking a lot of attention, because I'm going to meet some people very soon whose world was transformed from what I've shared with them, just like I'm sharing it with you. And these individuals are now making more money than they ever dreamed possible in their lives, and they're living a life that they never thought was possible in their lives, simply because they got serious about it, guys. So again, grab pen and paper. I'll count to 3, and then we're going to get going. So 1, 2, 3, let's rock and roll. All right. Now, one of the reasons I love what I do is this business model, and believe me, obviously as a consultant, I work in just about every industry you can imagine, butchers, bakers, even candlestick makers. I work with the highest corporates right down to the lowest plumber. In fact, just this week, I've been talking to some of the top decision makers for some of the largest companies in Australia. So, there's not an individual or a type of industry that I haven't seen or worked with. But this business model is the only one I know of that doesn't require massive capital to be able to get involved. It doesn't require high overheads like your margins. Your margins are incredible in this business. So you've got very low overheads, and you don't require any staff, really. You can have them and make life easier, but they're not critical. You can do this all yourself. But it's the only business model I have seen that gives anyone from pretty well any background or age that you can think of the ability to be able to create a 6 or 7 figure income for themselves with this business model. And I love it. So it really is, this is the great leveler. This is a game changer, ladies and gentlemen, for people that really do want to change their financial or lifestyle situation. And I'm going to do my best to explain why over the next 60 minutes or so. Before I do, I'm guessing there's a lot of you that do know me or have checked me out, but if you haven't, yes, I am incredibly handsome. And a little bit about myself, and I'm not going to dwell on myself very much because this is all about you, but you should know who you're getting advice from, I believe. So they need to be street smart so they can give you the right advice. So right up until around the year 2000, I was busting my backside as an electrician for 13 years, trying to create a good income and a good lifestyle for myself. And I was lucky to be making $30,000, $40,000 for myself a year. And I came across my first mentor, who then introduced me to the Speed Wealth Zone. And that world really changed my life. He introduced me to sales and marketing. And I became a very keen student of that, and built 5 multi-million-dollar companies because of the knowledge that started there. I mean, that was the start of my journey. So since then, I've generated well over $70 million in my companies, and 17 million of that, approximately, is from the consulting world. So I do think that that is important for you to understand, so that I'm not just somebody that's come out of a cornflakes packet saying, hey, well, you know what? How about I start talking to people and trying to make some money? That's not what this is about. This is simply me sharing my experiences and then really showing you the business model I think is probably the best on the planet. So I refer to myself as a transporter. I'd been transported, as I shared with you, for 13 years. I pretty well hadn't achieved much. And then once I got the right knowledge, it was off to the races. And so what I do is I spend my life since 2006 taking people that are experiencing massive discomfort, whether it be income, whether it be their business has consumed their life, ruining their health, they don't get to see their family, whether it be just a total life change for people so they can take control of their world again. I take them from that situation and I give them the knowledge and I give them the information and I teach them. This is the big difference. I literally take them by the hand and I take them through this journey step by step so that they get into the speed wealth zone themselves and that they can then start to have the things that they want in the world. So here are just a few of the people that have gone before you. We've got many others, but these are just a few of the 6 and 7 figure advisors that I have had a part to play. I can't take all the credit, ladies and gentlemen. It's up to the individual to take the actions and take the necessary steps to be able to do this. But when they do, man, the results are fantastic. So that's a fraction of the individuals that have become 6 and 7 figure advisors. And understand, disproportionately, I've only trained maybe 70 people in all those years, because I've never ever approached what I'm doing here right now with you as a way for me to make as much money as I possibly can in as short a possible time as I can. I really love making sure that I can help these individuals create differences in their worlds, which I'm very proud of. Now, I have a special gift for all of you as well. I am told that this is a very good read, ladies and gentlemen. This is my journey, The Inconvenient Truth About Business Success. Now, the reason I called it this, many people ask me, but the reason I call it this is, let's face it, sometimes being successful is bloody inconvenient. And so I don't gild the lily, I just call it as it is. And this is my life story. There's really practical, helpful advice in there about how I've built the companies I've built. And the feedback I've gotten from so many people has been really cool. In fact, I still remember one phone call. One person rang me up and said, "Ian, you bastard, I had to get up for work the next day, but I couldn't put down your book. It was that good. I had to read it." So I really got a buzz out of that. Anyway, so at the end, I'm going to show you how to get this book, and I'm even going to cover the postage and handling on this for you. Now, this is not just some ebook that doesn't cost me any money to shoot off to you. No, I'm going to foot the cost. This book sells for nearly $30 in most bookstores, and it's doing quite well. And and so it's going to be a physical book. It's going to go out to you, and I'm even going to cover the postage and handling, which is not cheap these days. How does a business like Australia Post get to double the time of delivery, but also double the price they charge to do it? Pretty amazing, if you ask me. Anyway, so who's this for? Why are you here? And will this be applicable for you? Well, I'll give you a few examples of some people that have found it applicable. And so this person you're looking at, his name's Peter. He used to be a project manager of some of the largest developments in the world. I'm talking billion-dollar developments in charge of thousands of people. And he'd made millions of dollars. He thought life was pretty well set. That was until the GFC hit, wiped him out, took him for everything he had, and he had to start again from scratch. So we'll refer to him as a start-againer. However, he saw my information, and he's trying to work out how the heck am I going to get back on top again. And even though he didn't have the money, he found the money. He got very creative. You know, understand there are people out there that will work out and they just say to themselves, "Oh, look, I can't afford this," and they go on their way. And there's other people that say the sort of the same. They say, "How can I afford this?" Notice the difference. I can't afford this. Or how can I afford this? And so he decided to say to himself, well, can I get creative? Can I find the money? And so he did get creative, and he did find the money, and he did the training, and his life these days is spectacular. In fact, he consults the same companies that took him for a ride in the GFC. So he gets great pleasure out of that. What about Scott? Was a builder, and he left his company in the hands of who he thought was a good GM for his building company. And he's actually good friends with John Howard, and he decided to do his part because he's got a heart as big as Texas, this guy. So he said, you know what, I'm going to do my part to help my community. I'll run for Parliament and get elected, and I'll make a big difference in our community. Now, sadly, he only lost by a few votes, but by the time he came back, his eye was off his company for so long that the GM managed to run it into the ground, and it was Shell was just about to take him for all the years he'd put into it. He's about to lose everything. Luckily, he met me, and so he became a business advisor. He was one of my first, actually. He did the training, applied the principles, and became very street smart. And because he became street smart, he then turned his company around. He's now the largest and one of the most highly recognised companies in Rockhampton as a builder, and he's building 5-star resorts in Vanuatu. In fact, I've got to follow him up and see how he's going with that. So he did that simply because he got better knowledge and applied better strategies and got better results. Now, this lady, I love her to death. Her name is Saffron. So she was struggling to get by, looking after 2 children and keeping a roof over their head on her own, trying to do it on $50,000 a year. And it was not an easy task. And she saw the success stories of many of my other students, and they were in the room. And so she thought, I want a piece of that action. And she asked me if she could be a consultant. Now, from memory, I actually think I said no, because I was worried that this may be the last cent she ever had. And with the responsibilities on her shoulders, I was worried that it might be just too much emotionally to handle. But she asked me more than once, which is a lesson, a street smart lesson. And so I did say yes. And I'll probably tell you a little bit more about her later. But now she lives an incredible life. Her income's tripled, or probably more than tripled. It's been a while since I've talked to her. And, she's really just taken control of herself, of her life. Matt Bichelle had like 60 staff working for him. He had a great company called Tropical Lifestyle. You probably, if you've got a pool and you put a cabana at the pool and it was delivered to you, it was probably done by this man, because he had the largest drop shipping cabana business in Australia. Importing the cabanas, having 60 staff there, and all the fun and joy that went with that. He became a consultant. Not only did he recoup his whole investment, he did the diamond level, by the way. Not only did he recoup his whole investment within, I think, 2 or 3 months, but he then sold his business, because we teach you how to structure a business ready for sale. And he then went on to live the life of a consultant, and he's loving life madly. Then we got Chantel, who won Advisor of the Year, and I sent her to Cook Island as a thank you. She was knocking on my door selling a product. I won't mention the product, but she then hit her straps and got clients and transformed her life. And this guy, many of my students, by the way, have achieved far more success than I have, and this is one of them. When I met him, he was training people in real estate. I won't say which state or what the area of it was, but it was one of the regulatory parts, and he was teaching real estate agents how to do things by the book and how to sell. And he was getting our knowledge and realizing that what he was teaching these individuals was not as good as it could be. And he's a very congruent person, this gentleman. I take my hat off to him. I love him. His students love him. So now he's got the second largest coaching group in Australia for real estate agents, and he's great friends with Arnold Schwarzenegger and with Richard Branson, to name a few. Goodness me, I don't even know how far he's gone, but it's farther than I have, I tell you. So take your hat off to him and salute him. And again, I'll just give you 1 or 2 more. This is a horse whisperer, Jarno. Jarno flew 40 hours from Belgium to learn these skills. And when I met him, he's booked about a month in advance in his horse clinic, because he really has a worldwide reputation as a top horse whisperer. Anyway, I was talking to him probably about a month ago, actually. Had a yarn with him to see what he was up to. He's now booked out 12 months in advance. His consulting organisation is growing like crazy. And he was talking to me, the reason I was talking to him, he said, Ian, how do I duplicate what you have over in Australia with your model? How do I get large like you and create an organisation like yours? So he's really hammering it now. So life's, I think he told me he recouped his whole investment within about 4 months or something as well. Anyway, these ones, I've got a soft spot in my heart for these 2 ladies as well. So Tracy and Yvette, they wanted to have a better life for themselves as well. One's a single mother and the other one had a job, but they knew there was more out there. And so they were part of my first group as well. And now they're so busy, they hardly even have the time to pick up the phone and talk to me. There you go. But anyway, so I don't know if you resonate with any of those stories or those messages, but hopefully you can understand that it doesn't matter where you are, or what's happened to you, or where you're going. This has the ability to change your world if you want it to. But it's not for everybody, okay? So this is not some, give me a few dollars and I'm going to make you rich situation. No, this is my business that I hand to people on a silver platter. And so it's a serious business investment. It's a real business, just like if you were buying a gym or a McDonald's or any other thing. It's got the same earning potential, in fact, more in many cases. So there's an application process as well, ladies and gentlemen, because I want to make sure it's a good fit for both you and I. And so if you love what you see, then we'll be able to talk about it and go through the application. So what are you going to learn over this time? Well, I'm going to be sharing with you the fastest way to get control of your income so you can create the lifestyle that you want. I thought that might be a pretty cool thing for you guys to learn. Then the next thing that I'm going to be sharing with you is a case study. I thought, again, the best way to share this is to take you on a journey through somebody else's eyes. So I'm going to just take you on a case study of what one of my students did and the results that they got. And then I'm going to be showing you how, when I decided to crank things up and really see how fast I could grow this organisation and the results I could get, at that point I was making $10,958 a day. But I do tell you, full disclosure, I was cranking it, and you'll see what I got up to and how I did it. So I'll show you that. And then, more importantly, you're going to see how you can do it as well if you wanted to. So why is this important for you now? Well, I really am pleased that you're on this call because, look, firstly, I want you to understand that most things that we've learned in life are rigged. They're dead wrong. They're things that have been put out there for us to have a certain response to, because we do respond in very predictable ways, us human beings. And the second thing is that it's really important in this one. According to CEDA, at least 40% of Australian jobs are going to disappear within the next 10 to 15 years. Well, guys, I don't know what industry you're in right now. As I said to you before, the last couple of days I've been talking to some of the biggest decision makers and some of the biggest corporates in Australia, and some of the things they were sharing with me were quite amazing. For example, in the vehicle industry, within sort of 15 years, there won't be any petrol or diesel vehicles. They'll all be electric. And more than that, probably within 20 to 25 years, and I'll probably still be around then, forget probably having your car in your driveway. You're going to probably have some sort of a bubble turn up without a driver, and you'll just order it like you order an Uber, and then it'll guide you by GPS to wherever your destination is. And if you think that might be pie in the sky, get a load of this. What you're looking at here is something that's happening as we speak. So this is a taxi, ladies and gentlemen. You order this taxi in Dubai right now. You get your phone out. You order your drone taxi. It will come, it will land, you hop in this little sucker, and then up you go, and it takes you to your destination. So the Jetsons have arrived, the world is changing, and if you keep thinking that you can just go on doing things that you've been doing in the past and that life won't affect you, think again. You need to make sure that you're aware of the latest things that are occurring so that you can then gain the knowledge, gain the right knowledge, and utilize it the right way. So you don't become a victim or a statistic. You actually can take advantage of the massive changes that are going on in the world right now. So look, I'm going to share some common sense with you as well. I don't know you, and I don't go around making massive promises that can't be fulfilled. I don't know with what I'm about to share is going to make you successful or not successful. Even though I've done really well with the things and the principles and the strategies I'm going to share with you, and many of my students, as I said, have done even better than I have, I can't do your push-ups for you. I don't know how committed you are or if you're going to execute things as I'm going to ask you to execute them, etc. So I do not want you to think I'm making any promises whatsoever. Your success is totally up to you. And so when you actually take that internally, that's one of the biggest breakthroughs that you can have in life, guys. So again, everything I'm going to share with you is 100% gospel truth, but there is no guaranteed solution. I can't promise you're going to be successful because I just do not know you well enough to be able to say that. So giving you a bit of an idea of the past, I got transported in the power of this knowledge. As I said to you earlier, I got transported in about the year 2000. I was in a lot of pain. In fact, the reason I was in pain was because I met a gorgeous woman that I knew I wanted to marry, and I didn't have anything to my name. And luckily, I did meet my mentor, and my first mentor taught me about sales and marketing, and that gave me the keys to a new world. And I was in a pretty tough space myself, okay? No kidding. This was my fridge. This is the sort of food I was trying to get by on. And this is where I lived in Binya Street in Pendle Hill. And it's not that big mansion you see at the front, it's that little chook shed at the back. It gets even better because I didn't get lonely. I lived in that little chook shed with 2 other people. How's that? There you go. So I told you I hadn't amounted to much, but then again, I'm an electrical contractor. I'm trying my best to get ahead. I'm cruising around in this fantastic state-of-the-art machine. It was blowing so much smoke, I kept getting pulled over by coppers left, right, and centre. I can't remember how many times I got pulled over, but it was very embarrassing. So if you think life was tough, well, guess what? There's always somebody worse off than you. So I always make sure I appreciate every day and everything I have. So that was me pre-age 35, pre-me getting the keys to the speed wealth zone. But what I found out when I started to learn this information was the reality that I had, the world that I thought I had to put up with and accept, that reality was really a fantasy. It was a fantasy made by me due to my thought processes, my decision-making capabilities, and what I was doing in the world. But I saw the light. I really, you remember the Blues Brothers? One of my favourite movies, guys. If you're my vintage, I'm sure it was one of yours as well. You remember Jake and Elroy when they were in the church and James Brown is up the front and he's giving his sermon and then Jake says, "Oh, I see the light," because he's got to get the band back together and they're on a mission. Jake and Elroy, they're on a mission to God and they've got to get the band back together so that they can make things happen. I kid you not, that is what happened to me. When I started learning this information and then when it all came together and started making sense for me, and it did take a little while, it wasn't straight away, maybe I'm slower than some, but when it came together, ladies and gentlemen, within 3 years, I built one of the largest air conditioning companies in Australia. So this is the power of the knowledge that I'm sharing with you. So again, this is why I ask you, please, pen and paper, write notes. Everything I'm sharing, I'm giving it to you because it has the ability to change the situation you're in. So let's start with revelation number 1, shall we? So the fastest way to get control of your income so you can create the lifestyle you want. That'd be a pretty cool thing to do. Well, before I can show you how to do that, I need to speak to one thing. I need to really talk to you about what it is. And I do cover this in my book as well, that many of you will get when you stay to the end. I've got to share how people create the incomes and the lifestyles they desire through consulting by revealing why people are where they are in life right now, good or bad, okay? So here's the big thing. Thoughts are things, ladies and gentlemen. Thoughts are things. How deep and meaningful is that? Well, thoughts are things and powerful things at that. When they are mixed with definiteness of purpose, persistence, and a burning desire for their translation to riches or other material objects. That was Napoleon Hill from Think and Grow Rich. Never a truer word was said. And I'm going to show you some examples of this. So remember the thoughts going through people's heads. I'm going to show you a few examples of what people are thinking of, okay? So we all know this gentleman, don't we? President Obama, whatever your thoughts of him, what do you think he's thinking about right now? I reckon he's thinking about those fantastic shoes that lady's wearing and how he can get a pair for Michelle. What do you think? And what about this gentleman, Bruce Willis? He's just absolutely amazed at that beautiful dress that Halle's wearing because he'd love to, of course, get something like that for his wife as well. You know, it's pretty easy to mind read, isn't it, guys and girls? So here's a final example. What do you reckon these 2 guys are thinking about? You know, the guy, he's got his bananas there and the other one with his rock melons that he's holding. They're looking at this beautiful girl. There's thoughts going through their head right now. And ladies, before you start rolling your eyes at me, okay, just be aware you do it too. It's just that you're better at it than we are. So coming back to these 2 guys, I'm going to just single one of them out. We'll talk about the guy in the front, the guy holding his bananas. Now, he's thinking of this beautiful woman and his thoughts going through his mind. There's something along the lines of, you know, that woman, if I could ask her out, if I could have a coffee with her and it'd be she's just the most beautiful vision I've ever seen. I'd love to get to know her and maybe her become my girlfriend possibly. You know, these are thoughts that generally have a good chance of going through his head. Now, as they're going through his head, he's also experiencing something quite traumatic, ladies and gentlemen. So it'd be feeling a little bit like this. Imagine you're about to do a bungee jump. You've never done it before and you're scared. You're just petrified of taking that first step because you don't know whether that rubber band is going to bloom and break or not. So it's pretty terrifying for you to jump off that bridge. Well, talking firsthand, okay, there are thoughts going through people's mind. This is $1 million question. Will I or won't I? Will I or won't I? Will I ask her if she'd like to have a coffee? Won't I ask her if she would like a cup of coffee? Will I, won't I? Will I, won't I? Now, this $1 million question determines where he ends up to a large degree. And here's what I mean. You know, why is he hesitating? Why is he even thinking? If he thinks she's the most beautiful lady and he'd love to get to know her better, where's the hesitation? Where's the sense in that? Well, quite simply, not many people can handle rejection. They think it's just life-ending, world-ending when someone says no to them. Are you with me there? Do you understand where I'm coming from? So right up until that point, right up until he actually takes the action of asking her if she'd like a cup of coffee or not, anything's possible. So I don't know if any of you are aware, but your mind cannot distinguish between what is real and what is pretend. Okay, so you can live a reality in your mind and you can live all that within seconds of, oh, I took that girl out, we had a coffee, we got married, we had children, we got a white house and picket fence and life was great. That all could have gone through his head within a matter of seconds, visualizing the life he could have with that girl without even asking her. However, the moment he goes up and asks her, that's where the rubber hits the road, because right up until that point, that was still a possibility for him in his life. But heaven forbid, if she said no to him and rejected him, then instead of it being a possibility, it was a dead no-go. Who's following this? Now, here's my point. We don't know what she's going to say. We don't know the result. We can't foretell the future. She may very well say yes. She may be your soulmate. She may live happily ever after with you, okay? But if you do not ask the question and take that chance and say, will I? And the answer be yes, then you'll never know. My question to you is, what have you got to lose? So from there, I'm going to just share with you why people have this hesitation and why some people would have no issue going up and talking to that beautiful lady, and yet others are petrified, even though they may be the best looking chap on the planet, and beauty is more than skin deep. That's what I keep saying to myself. So, you know, as you're growing up, you're told a story. You've got this self-image that's been developed for yourself. And, you know, if you were brought up in a home that maybe didn't have a lot of money and you're always challenged a little bit for finances, you probably got told messages along the lines of, I can't afford it, money doesn't grow on trees, and don't be stupid, you'll never amount to anything, go get a job, don't be crazy about working for yourself, it's too risky. Who's relating to that? Who's getting the idea that story could have been happening in some households? Well, that sort of builds a self-image that is carried forward for many, many years, usually for the rest of people's lives, unless they're made aware of it and do something about it. Then you get a different family that get told a different story, and we'll use people like the Trumps. So, for example, you've got Mr. and Mrs. Trump there, that Mary and Fred, they raised Donald in a certain way. They taught him how to be successful and taught him success principles, so he then became successful. He then went on and taught his children success principles, and they became successful. He taught them things like you can achieve anything. What's the ROI on that if I put that investment in there? Don't settle for less than 15% return on your money. What guarantees will you give me if we get involved in this deal? Give it everything you got. You know, don't you stop until you get to that finishing line. Think big, don't think small. You can do anything, so give it a shot. You might as well make it happen and take educated risks, okay? So this is a different sort of story that these people are being told, and as a result, they get a different life. And so I'm just going to be asking your permission, and this is a big ask perhaps, but I just want to ensure that you understand that the stories you're being told, they don't have to be true unless you choose them to be true. Okay, I want you to open yourself up to a different story, one that I was made aware of many years ago, one I've helped many others become aware of, and hopefully for some of you, I can make you accept a new story in your life as well. So let me start that story off with another story. This is a true story, okay? This is a story about Raj, a taxi driver. I met him, I think, about 2 years ago now. And Raj was had a huge smile on his face when I hopped into the taxi in Melbourne and he was taking me into the city. I had to know. I said, "Excuse me, I'm just curious, sir. Why are you so happy?" And I also said, "What's your name?" And so he said, "Oh, my name's Raj." And he said, "What's not to be happy? I live here in Australia." He was Indian. He says, I'm my own boss. I can travel anywhere, and I meet interesting people like you, and I can just have a great life. And I'm going to be getting a house very soon, so I'm really, really happy." I said, "Fantastic, Raj. So how many hours a day do you put in driving this taxi?" He says, "I do 12 hours a day." 12 hours. How many days a week? He says, 6 days a week. So I got all the work I want. I said, "That's great. And how much do you make a day?" He says, "Well, it varies. It could be sort of $130 a day, could be $200 a day. But, I get out there and I make it happen. And so it's up to me to make the money." So good on you, Raj. And I said, "So then you get to play with your family and do things. I guess you're married, eh?" He says, "Yeah. And so what? You have Sundays off and rest, do you?" So because hard work, is driving all the time. He says, No. On Sundays I clean a building, a commercial building, and I get paid $18 an hour for cleaning the building." Well, wow, man. Okay, fantastic. So you work 7 days a week? Yep. And I've nearly got enough for my deposit. So how long have you been getting your deposit for? Says, "Oh, I guess maybe 15 years now, and I've got enough for my deposit." Well done, Raj. Now, he was happy. That was his story, and he was happy in that world, and he created that life for himself. I wasn't about to shatter that. I know there are other possibilities, and if you put the same amount of, imagine him putting the same amount of effort into another vehicle, a better business vehicle than a taxi, where do you think he might be right now? But let me tell you another story. This is a story of Saffron. So Saffron, I did speak about her earlier. Again, so she's with 2 children, or is raising 2 children on her own, and she was on 50,000 trying to raise these children and keep a roof over her head, and it wasn't easy. So she made the decision. She saw the information and decided that, yes, I want more than I have right now, and she decided to write a different story than the one that she had. Okay, and so when she started in her journey, I always ask my consultants, say, "Well, okay, if I take you on, where do you see yourself in 12 months? What goals would you like to achieve?" And Saffron said, "I want to take my children on a holiday they'll always remember. I want to take them to Disney World and give them the time of their life. And I want to make sure I've got a home so that no one can take it away from me, and that I've always got a roof over our head. That's what I want." You know what? 12 months later, Saffron had tripled her income, well, probably more than tripled her income. It's been a while since I've talked to her now. More than tripled her income. And guess what happened at the 12-month mark? She went on a holiday. She went to Disney World, and she's got a roof over her head of her own now. So it's up to us, ladies and gentlemen. It's up to us where we want to be and what story we want to accept. And it comes down to the vehicles we get taught to use. Now, what you're seeing in front of you right now is 2 vehicles. One is a jalopy, one is a racing car. Now, you got to determine, right, have I been taught to hop into a jalopy to get what I want out of life, or am I in a racing car, something that's going to get me from where I am to where I want to be in the fastest possible time? Now, if you're in a jalopy, obviously that jalopy is going to break down a lot. It's going to chug along. It's going to be very slow, and there's every chance you may not get to your destination. So what I'm saying to you here, the fastest way for you to get control of your life and your income is for you to first acknowledge what story you've been told. And I've got a few action steps for you, so I may not get ahead of myself here. But make sure that you've got the right business vehicle as well, because you can be the hardest worker like Raj, but you're in the wrong business vehicle. And if you are, then it doesn't matter how hard you work, it does not have the potential or the ability to get you where you want to go. So right now, I want you to focus, just like the Trump family. I want to give you the guidance that I've learned through many, many years of expensive experience, and just share with you those success principles, just like Donald Trump shared them with his family. And hopefully for some of you, this will resonate and I can help you as well. So now I want to take to the next part. This is the case study. Again, this is one of the things that I also love about the business. Many of my clients, they become really good friends of mine. Mark's a very good friend of mine now. And I just want to share with you how I helped Mark go from making a living to living a life. Okay, so Mark, by all standards, I guess, was considered successful. He was, or he still is, an engineer, but he actually had this business idea as well. He loves horses, and he's very knowledgeable about horse racing, and he wanted to get his business idea off the ground. And it wasn't working that well for him. He found my book in Dymocks, and he bought the book, and he gave me a call, and we had a chat. And in that chat, I found out a few things. I found out, yes, he was an engineer working, including his travel time, about 16 hours a day, for around about $100,000 a year. He wasn't appreciated. This was a real kicker for him. This is what actually moved him out. And I guess that tipping point, we all have pain levels we'll tolerate, but when they get too much, that's the tipping point. And so when he realised he wasn't appreciated at work, that was the motivation for him. And he was trying to get his business idea up and running, and it wasn't working too well for him. His clients that he was pursuing weren't taking him seriously. And also, because it wasn't working, his business idea, he was feeling incongruent. He wasn't really following his passion. So he had this chat with me, and I really was surprised at the results that he had achieved. From what he told me, he should have been further ahead than he was. I'd found out that he'd taken on another marketing firm, and they made all these promises to him and extracted many dollars from him. But over 6 months, he'd only sold $7,000 in shares in his horses. It wasn't good. So I told him he should become street smart. And here's what occurred, ladies and gentlemen. So he did the 7-day Diamond Advisor training in Fiji. Again, now I've got different levels of training in our program. So depending on the level of assistance you desire, depends on where you may be. But he did the Diamond level. He learned how to generate leads at will and how to convert them at a very high conversion rate. He learned then how to get great results for business owners. And bottom line, just remember, he was an engineer. So he'd never done sales. He'd never done marketing. He'd never optimized a business in any way, had no pre-training whatsoever. He came to Fiji. We spent a week together, and he was accompanied by Royd, Jason, and Von. I'm just going to play you a short video here of some of the things that they got up to there, guys.
I've been in a bit of consulting before, but since coming on the Street Smart Business School, I've been absolutely amazed with the incredible detail of the content and the number of tools and practical experience and guidelines that Ian shared with us. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be...
Hi, I'm Royd Compton, and I just wanted to let you know that I was really fraught with anxiety and worry about coming to this training in Fiji, this is the last day, and I really feel now that I could go back, and if I didn't have a job to go to tomorrow, I know that I could go out there and create something for myself and create an income from nothing.
To be honest with you, after doing the course, I still can't believe the information I did get from it. I actually do feel that my life has changed, and I've just got a whole new way to look at life. I feel free for the first time in my life.
The content is amazing. I have never had training like this ever. I come from a finance background, and I've never been taught to do lead generation the way Ian has shown us through this whole week in Fiji. I'm just blown away with everything about it. Like, oh my God, jump out that sofa. Let's get...
So, you know, bottom line, each of those guys pretty well had a massive transformation. Royd added to his income. He's now got a great income coming in the background, just working a couple of extra hours a week with his clients, while still he loves his job that he's got. Mark, well, I won't get ahead of myself there. Jason, incredible story. His consulting business has taken off like crazy as well. But again, let's focus on Mark. I won't get too distracted. So now, remember, he went on the 28th of November to do the training, okay? He learned how to generate leads at will. He learned how to then convert those leads into clients, and he learned how to get results for those clients, coming from a zero base, because he had never done anything like this in his life. He'd learned how to draw things. He's an engineer. So he sent out marketing templates as we developed with the marketing plan that we did in the island, and he got a great response, and he started talking to the prospects. That was on the 5th. Now, the marketing strategy now is slightly varied to this, ladies and gentlemen, but the marketing strategy that he used, generally, we get reports of around about 20, 30% response rate from the marketing strategy. It's large. It's just got a few nuances to it, but very powerful. And that's one of many, many marketing strategies that we use. So we sent this one out. And what do you know? When he implemented it, he got people responding to him, and he's out there talking to them. So now it's the 11th of January. Again, remember, he just learned this knowledge for the first time on the 28th of November. So the 11th of January, he came, he talked to, he got his leads. First prospect he came to, he used the sales system that I taught him. Lo and behold, he closed the deal, and the little devil, he's charging $5,000 a month to this client and a percentage of the upside of the business. Now, it took me years to develop the confidence to charge $5,000 a month. That's my fee now for my Centurions. And Mark just decided, well, why should I wait all that time? I'm just going to charge it straight away. And good luck to him. So he applied the sales system strategy, and again, started getting some massive results for the client. He implemented the referral strategies, the pricing strategies, the efficiencies that we taught them, staff performance, and after putting they weren't complicated, just very simple common sense things into play, he started getting massive results for his client. Now, in addition to that, not only did his clients improve, but also his own business. But I'll talk to you about that in a second as well. So he had his board meeting with his clients on April the 12th, and he saw a 30%. He helped them get a 30% improvement in their business. So now, since that time, that was a while ago, since that time, Mark is now, I believe, probably one of these other individuals that have surpassed my success. I haven't got the latest update from him, but I tell you what, some of the deals that he's doing, he's getting percentage businesses of people's businesses as he's helping them just as a given. So by applying the Street Smart strategies to his business himself, this is his horse racing business, within a few months, he'd sold over $300,000 worth of shares in his horses. Okay, so again, remember, he'd been with this other company for something like 6 months, and he'd sold $7,000, I think, in shares. And then when he became Street Smart, within just a few months, he'd sold over $300,000. Now, since then, okay, he's now sold, goodness me, I don't know how many horses, but it would have to be now in the millions because the amount of horses and shares that he has sold. But bottom line is, the reason it's happened, he still had the same raw talent. His brain didn't get any more intelligent. He didn't get any more good looking. And no one gave him some piece of paper to say, you now have the right to be rich. He just got new knowledge, put new tools in the toolkit, and started to apply them at a great rate of knots, ladies and gentlemen. He got serious, okay? So very proud of him and the progress that he's making. So in just 12 weeks, became an advisor. He really focused on improving his copywriting skills, and he really went deep, learning more and more about Facebook marketing as well. He then sold, as I said, 300,000 in shares in his syndicate horses. By the way, I bought a share. That's how good a blooming salesperson he is now. He sold me one of his horses. Clients are now paying him $5,000 a month and giving him part of their business. How cool is that, guys? I reckon it's pretty cool. But most importantly, okay, he's now working around. Well, he's very hard worker. He's like me. I love what I do. I don't consider it work. I just love what I do. But he works around 5 to 6 hours a day, more than tripled his income. He's sought after as the expert and the authority in the racing world. Now they're seeking him out, saying, "Listen, have you got any horses? Have you got any horses? Please save me a share." You know, and so it's up to him who he does and does not help. And he now has control of his life, and he's doing what he loves. Okay, that's the key. You only get one life, I know of. Well, actually, I do believe that there's something else after we die, but that's a whole different story. So again, this comes back to the will I or won't I. Do you think that he had hesitation? He told me himself he nearly didn't come. It was a razor edge. Both he and Royd nearly did not come to the training. It was that close. But look what would have happened if he didn't come. So he had just now, looking at it, you got to ask yourself, what makes more sense? Driving an hour to and from work, being told what to do, having someone else determine the size of your income, and No one appreciating the extra effort that you're putting in at work to get the best result. Well, again, I'm a great believer in we create the life that we want, and we should have a plan to make it happen. I did exactly the same thing, guys, and don't think that I didn't have those concerns that people have. Everybody has them. I don't care who they are. They all have this will I or won't I. The difference is what action do they take when they have that thought. So I decided that I wanted to live in this perfect piece of paradise, which is where I am right now. This is my home, and I visualized this and worked out exactly what type of place I wanted to live in. And I decided what type of work style I wanted to have. I knew I wanted to work from home. I didn't want to be away from my family all the time. And I wanted to make sure that I had control of my income and lived life on my terms, not somebody else's. So I've got a question for you now. This is a street smart mirror moment for you. And these are the same questions I asked myself and when I just got fed up and said enough's enough. So ask yourself, are you sending your children to the schools that you want to send them to? Or are you sending them to the schools you have to send them to? Are you taking the holidays you want to take? Or are you taking the holidays you have to take? What about the house that you live in? Is it because you want to live there or you have to live there? And what about your retirement? Is it the retirement you want to have or the retirement that you have to have? I'm sure you'll agree, guys, they're pretty important questions. But when was the last time you took a time out to ask yourself these questions? And then the next question is, well, okay, if you haven't got them yet, those things that you desire, what is your plan to get them? Okay, what's stopping you from getting them right now? So here's a bit of homework for you guys. Here's a simple action plan. I'm dead serious. Please take this action now. Grab that pen and paper and write this down. Take the time to write down exactly what you want. If you want to call them goals, call them goals. Then once you write down what you want, be very honest with yourself and say, well, I want these things. I know other people have got these things. Why have I not got these things? And what are my beliefs? What are my self-limiting beliefs or my stories that are telling me the reason why I don't have them? Because you need to identify them. Before you can move forward and have that high-level income that you desire, you've got to get your thought processes right, ladies and gentlemen. I kid you not. And then once you've worked that out and you've had that honest conversation with yourself, you then create an action plan to achieve what you want to achieve. And don't try and achieve everything all at once, but just work out the one thing that you think would have more impact and more benefit in your life than any other thing that you've got written on your list. And if you think that one thing is your income, well, then you just need to develop a plan and say, right, well, what new skills, what new talents, what new knowledge do I require? What changes do I have to make to change the income that I currently have, because it's not cutting the mustard? And you'll be amazed, ladies and gentlemen, once you write that down and get a clear, documented explanation of what's happening, you start moving forward and moving closer and closer to what you want. Okay, which leads me to Revelation 3. Are you enjoying yourself? I hope you're enjoying yourself, guys. I am. I told you I get carried away, but I love this stuff. So now I promised you that I'd show you how I was making $10,958 a day in consulting. So here's the bottom line. What I'm really wanting to show you are all the different methods, So I'm going to be sharing with you your consulting business model that I like to see everybody start off with, but you're going to see in a second what this knowledge leads into. So nearly all of those success stories that I shared with you earlier on that wall of fame, they got this knowledge and then it metamorphosized into other areas. And so I'm going to share some with you now and show you the different ways that you can create income as a consultant. And one of them may resonate with you more than others. But here's what I did when I decided to get serious and say, I wonder how much I can really crank this thing up to. So these are just various business models. And the first one, now, let me think. No, I got a mind blank. I was just wanting to share an added story on this, but I won't go there because it'll take us off track. So, okay, so here's model one. Here's the income generation strategy that I share for all of you to get started on. And that is, so I have what I refer to as Centurion clients, high one-on-one coaching. I charge them $5,000 a month. I work with them pretty well, probably 1 to 2 hours a week each week. And I do a little bit of creative for them. So that's what I do. And I never take on more than 4 clients because I want to make sure, A, I mean, I've got a life as well, and B, I've got a life as well. So now that's 240,000, and I get a percentage of the upside of the improvement in their businesses. Now, that was model 1. Okay. Now, in addition to that, I also did one-to-many, so group coaching, mastermind. So I had 8 workshops going, right from Cairns all the way around Australia. So it was Cairns, Townsville, Brisbane, Gold Coast, Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, Perth. So I was away from home quite a bit doing these workshops. And so in each workshop, there's between 15 and 25 attendees in each one. Each one was paying us $997 a month, and you can work out the maths on that. So there's $2,392,800 by doing the workshops. Then there's done with you. Okay, so this is where I referred to the product as $1 Million Makeovers. We had $25 million makeovers where we did some marketing, and I had some staff doing some coaching with the clients as well. So I was leveraging my time by getting some of my advisors to coach them. And we also created a very powerful marketing system for them. So it was a 2-year journey. So the whole, when we have, you see those 25 by 3,000, it was over 2 years. So 1 year is 900,000. So 2 years is 1.8 million. Okay, I hope that's making sense. Then we've got the digital division. So in addition to the coaching side and coaching with doing their marketing with them, we also built websites, very successful ones, by the way, doing millions of dollars in sales. $10,000 to $15,000 were most of them. Point of sale material, so creating marketing pieces. So this is one of our most powerful weapons, the shock and awe system. We had 20 of those going at once at $15,000 a pop. Also, one of the other skill sets you can develop if you want to is speaking on your feet and also developing information products. There's very high margin, ladies and gentlemen, in developing information products. And you learn these skills as you stay in our environment and hang around usins. So let's just say you're selling them for $2,500 and you do an event and you sell 20 of them at an event. Well, that's $42,000 for around about an hour and a half of speaking, ladies and gentlemen. That's not too bad, and we've done far more than that. I just didn't want to have these numbers being crazy. They've got to be believable for you. But I'm sure many of you, if you've been to an event, you've seen those table rushes and all these people running to the back of the room. Well, yes, that's what I'm talking about. So we've got the information products and then marketing events. So some of my biggest marketing events were Secure the Future, where I had 1,500 people in Sydney and Brisbane. Took Harry Dent to that event, and I had numerous speakers there. And I haven't even included those numbers in the maths here. Copywriting skills. Some of my consultants are making incredible livings just purely doing copywriting. Speaking from stage, doing the platform speaking. That's where you can have those $1 million weekends. Buying, building, and selling businesses. Now, I love doing that. That's another thing that you develop, and the skill sets that you get as you learn to be a consultant. This is just the beginning of the journey, guys. I'm going to be sharing with you the way that you can start to get great income, start working with this model. But then from there, this is not where it ends. This is where it starts, and you're just at the cutting edge of everything. Okay, so if I just add a few of these up, okay, so you've got the private Centurion coaching at $5,000 a month, and you've got the mastery workshops that are at when I had 8 mastery workshops going at a time, and the done with you component and the point of sale marketing materials and the websites that we're doing, that came to $4 million. Now, we did more than that, but I think that gave you an idea. And over 365 days, that's $11,046 a day. Now, again, I am not saying that's the money you will make, guys, but what I am saying is, can you see how this can grow? Can you see how when you've got the right knowledge, you can go in and get the knowledge to be able to buy a business for practically nothing? In fact, you can get a business for nearly nothing. And business owners will ask you to please help them, and they can give you parts of their business. And it's just amazing, some of the success stories and how your knowledge transforms into other things. Now, I never dreamed when I was training Glenn Twiddle that he'd grow the second largest coaching group for real estate in Australia, become best friends with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Goodness me. So, no, I haven't even had an invite yet. Anyway, there you go. So there's just a few ways. Is that all the ways you can make money? No, there are more, but I think that gives you a concept of the incredible leverage. And remember, I did not need to go to university for many, many years and get a piece of paper with letters after my name. All I need to do was learn some key fundamental success principles that probably only 5% of the business owners would know, and as a result, get predictable results. So let's just clarify this and focus on the one area right now, which is the high-end one-to-one coaching. So I'm going to give you an example. And remember, Mark just straight up went and started charging $5,000 a month to his clients when he started doing that. And so now I'm going to show you the model where I teach our students, and that is pretty well where a lot of them seem to come up with this figure of around 250 to 300,000 a year that they'd like to make as a consultant. Many people that I train are sort of around about the starting off around about the 80K, maybe $100,000 a year is where they are. So they pretty well want to triple their income. And so let's just say you wanted to make 300K a year, and then work say 30 hours a week and have that sort of a lifestyle. Well, here's a game plan for you. So, all right. Let's just say that we find 6 clients that are happy to pay $3,000 a month for you to help them grow their business in a no-risk situation, okay? And again, if you were a business owner, let's put yourself in the face of a business owner, and somebody put to you a strategy that hands down could not be argued with, you could see that there was a massive increase that could occur in your business if you applied those principles. And you knew that if that didn't work and they didn't keep their promises that there's no risk to you, wouldn't you take that deal? It's a pretty powerful offer. So I won't get into the fine details of it, but essentially that's the concept. Hey, listen, would you like me to help you make a lot more money, and could I just have a little part of that profit, the extra profit that you'd never make without me? Can you just pay me a little bit of the part of that extra money? Of course I'd say yes. So you grab these people, and initially you'd be working with them quite a bit to start getting some systems and processes in place. But once you get the key systems in place, you're probably maintaining around about 2 to 3 hours a week with them. And so you got those 6 clients. You're charging them $3,000 as a retainer. That's $216,000 a year. Are you with me on that? And let's just say you're doing 20, 25, even 30 hours a week. Okay. So the businesses that you're targeting, let's just say that they're doing around about 5 million in turnover. So the group turnover, if you've got 6 clients doing 5 million, that's 30 million total for the turnover that you're looking after. Now, if you put some street smart strategies in place with those businesses, let's just assume that you've helped them improve by 10% over and above anything that they would have done without you. Well, 10% of 3 million would be $90,000. 10% of 3 million, okay? Let me rewind that. My apologies there. So if you've got 30 million, 10% of 30 million is a $3 million improvement, guys. Are you with me? My apologies on that. So I'm going to go back one more slide just to give you the clarity. You've got 6 clients that you found, and their turnover is $5 million each in their companies. So 6 times 5 is a total group turnover of 30 million. And you've helped them improve their results by 10%. So 10% of 30 million is a $3 million improvement in their business. So when you've helped them achieve that $3 million improvement in their business, part of your agreement is, look, I'm going to help you really get some substantial improvements in your organization. Would it be okay if I do achieve that you just pay me part of a profit you never would have had without me? And for this sake, let's just say 3%. Well, 3% of 3 million is $90,000, okay? So if you add the 90,000 to the 216,000 returner, you're working 20 to 30 hours a week. That's $306,000 per annum, ladies and gentlemen. Who likes the sounds of that? So $300,000 working 20 to 30 hours a week. I hope that makes a lot of sense to you. I think it's pretty good. And I hope you're getting the idea of why I still say that this is one of the simplest, most lucrative, but more importantly, one of the most personally rewarding business models on the planet. I just haven't seen anything better. Now, whatever business you're looking at, and I hope you're getting as excited as I am about this one, you need 3 things for success, okay? You need to have a reliable lead generation system so that you can determine how many leads or inquiries you're getting. Then you have reliable sales systems. So, you know, if you get, say, 10 leads coming in, you know you're going to get, say, 3 of them. There's a 30% conversion rate, for example. And then you need to be able to deliver on your promise. You've got to be able to have a delivery system. So regardless of what business model you're looking at, if you can tick those 3 boxes, you're on the way to a very happy place with a smile ear to ear. And so let's just speak to those 3 things right now. With our lead generation systems, and I make 3 promises, okay, to all of my clients when they come. You will be able to generate leads at will, okay? This model here, and again, this is not the final model, this is a version of the model that I teach. Many of my students report a 30% response rate. So this, if you've got a predictable 30% response rate from lead generation, goodness me, couldn't you then pretty well just dial up the amount of success you want? Of course you can. And by the way, this is not our most successful lead generation strategy. I've got 19, in fact, I think there's 20 of the most powerful, proven being the magic word, marketing strategies that I teach you, and they're all in the system. So when you launch them, you don't need to worry about leads. I guarantee if you follow things as I ask you to and execute as I ask you to, there's no way you can't generate leads. Then the next thing that you need to be able to do, as I said, is when you get those leads, you've got to be able to convert them. And again, many of my advisors report a 70% plus conversion rate. I'm not making any promises to you, but if you execute it again exactly as I ask you to, I would be absolutely flabbergasted if you could not achieve at least, say, a 40% conversion rate. It'd be crazy. It means you're not executing as I ask you to, more than likely, if that's not occurring. So if you've got a predictable sales system, and it is that powerful, ladies and gentlemen, I haven't seen anything better in your system, and you've got a way to generate leads, and this pretty well makes sure that you can get as many clients as you want. So then the only last part of the equation is, do you have the ability to help them? Well, again, I'm very proud of the fact that I've helped many business owners around the world achieve incredible results in their organizations. And in fact, you'll see literally hundreds of case studies of them on our YouTube channel. And there's no way I could do that if there was not a mechanical way to do it. And I give all of those strategies and systems to my students, and that's why they can get the results that they get as well. So again, yes, you can generate leads. Yes, you will be able to convert leads, and yes, you will know how to get results for people if you just put the effort in and follow the system as I ask you to, guys. Who's getting excited now? Again, I'm loving this. This is again this. I haven't shared this training in this version before either, guys. So this is a first off for me too. So now let's look at this. The lead gen. Let's just do a bit of a game plan. If we could say, well, we can predict the amount of percentage response rate we're getting from our lead gen, and let's just say that we sent out one of our systems and we're getting a 20% response rate. Well, you send 100 of them out. That'd be 20 leads. Okay. Well, out of 20 leads, what sort of conversion would we get? Well, let's just say 33% to keep the math simple, shall we? So 1 in 3. So if that's the case, we do the conversion rate, we do our sales system, that means 6.6 clients. You get 6.6 clients and you're charging them $3,000 a month. Well, that's $19,800 a month, ladies and gentlemen. $237,000 a year. Not bad. Okay. So I now want to add another piece to the pie here. Okay. Remember going back, we were talking about the sort of questions I wanted to ask you. I held a mirror up in front of you and asked you the sort of things, the sort of life you're living in. You're happy with the lifestyle and the finances you're getting. And I don't know the answers that you got, but I did ask you to, after this training, to then document and have a real honest conversation with yourself. So what I've shown you here is a business model, a business plan, a proven business plan, an action plan, if you like, of how to get a pretty cool income with a fantastic business, helping other individuals succeed in life, and at the same time, you make incredible money. This is why I love what I do, because there's not many businesses I know where you actually really do have a win-win. So this brings me to a really, really powerful lesson I learned a while ago from a friend of mine, Alex Mendosian, and it's called the cost of inaction. And that means that if you now have an ability, if you now know how to change a situation in your life, well, the longer it takes for you to make a decision on taking that action and implementing that strategy or that idea has a real cost to it. Because, look, you can make more money. If you lose all your money, and I've helped many of them, the starter beginners, if you lose everything you got, you can get the money back. But one thing you cannot get back is time. That time is ticking away so fast, guys, you wouldn't believe it. I look at my 15-year-old daughter now, and yesterday, I swear she was only 5. I kid you not. So cost of inaction is really critical. When you've got a situation where, let's for example say you take our average income in Australia, which is $78,832, and you decide that you want to make $300,000 a year because that's the sort of income you want for the desired lifestyle you want to have. Well, the bottom line is that every day that you do not start developing your action plan or implementing your action plan to get that additional income is costing you $605.94. You see how that works? And that's not taking into account money invested, and I'm just put down 3% here from that lost earning potential, and the amount of time that you wait to do something with it. So if you waited a year, just waiting a year, once you had an action plan that you knew could take you from where you are to where you want to be, it's really cost you $224,795.17, ladies and gentlemen, by you not taking that action. Now, imagine if you didn't take action for 15 years. Well, the real cost of inaction then is $4,193,716.89. Okay, this is simply the cost of you not having the things you can have in life if you're willing to go out and take the necessary steps to make it happen. So this brings me back to my friend Napoleon Hill, who had a massive impact on my life. When you make the mental shift, you are ready to create the life you want instead of the one you have. Okay, so that's my words, not Napoleon's, but they're in essence what Napoleon Hill was trying to say in his book. Soon as you decide to become successful, guess what? You'll be successful. And the rest of it's just a matter of time. You just got to put the effort in there, as long as you've got the right business vehicle. So the best part is that, you know, this is not, again, something pie in the sky. It's a proven model. It's a proven business model that many people have done before. So here's the other good news. Okay, most people are good at what they do. So when you go and start helping business owners, a lot of them are bloody good at what they do. They're good technicians. However, they're so busy thinking about everything they got happening in life. They got taxes, they got family, they got their girlfriends, they got their boyfriends, they got their wives, they got their husbands, they got their payroll they got to make, and all these other things that are going on. They're so busy trying to do the things in their business that they actually never take the time out to look for logical solutions to improve what's going on in their organization. I know it sounds crazy, but I can tell you here and now that most of the things that I ask clients to put in place to improve their business, it's common sense. And anybody just looking objectively without any training would probably be able to say the same thing. You know, so we just go and see them and say, listen, do you know how to get more customers, how to keep customers, and how to manage your company? If not, well, I'm happy to help you. Now, what I'm explaining here is just a business model. Remember, a business vehicle. But it really is the simplest, most lucrative and personally rewarding business on the planet. Okay, so another question for you. Are you in a jalopy or are you in a racing car? What do you think? Well, the sooner you answer that question and then take action on it, the faster you're going to start to get control of your income and your lifestyle. You got to make a decision. If you know that you're in a jalopy, well, then now that you've been exposed to that, now that I've shared this knowledge with you on that, you really don't have excuses. This is now the point where the cost of inaction has kicked in, and you now have a plan. You now have an ability for you to take yourself to the income levels you want to be. Now, whether it's this plan or some other plan, I'm hoping I'm motivating you enough to get a plan, to actually do something and not just settle for what's happening. So all we've covered so far is that, bottom line, the game of life is rigged. We're programmed to be a certain way, and I need to snap you out of it if I can and take you into the speed wealth zone. I've shown you how Mark transformed his life and tripled his income, halved his work hours in just 12 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. And I also showed you the different business models that are out there and how you can make incredible income and have incredible leverage and grow a really incredible business if you so desire by going through those 7 different consulting models there. And again, there are more. And I made you aware of the cost of inaction. Now, so hopefully you're getting massive value for time. Return on time is so important, guys. Now, look, these skills, these have helped everybody, as I said before, from builders, school teachers, engineers, accountants, farmers, single mums, real estate agents, MBAs, OBEs, brickies, labourers, salespeople, scientists, IT consultants, retirees, and start againers, to name a few. This is just a few of the people that I've helped create 6- and 7-figure incomes. So it's worked for them. Now, again, I don't know if it's going to work for you, but I can tell you, if you are looking for a way to get out of a jalopy into a racing car, or maybe you're looking for a real business to buy, perhaps you were looking at a franchise or some other scenario, or just a bricks and mortar business that can get you better potential and return on time. Well, again, I believe this is the best business model. And if you're a business owner that want to get really, really good results in your business, imagine you coming back and looking at your business from a consultant's perspective rather than from a business owner's perspective. What do you reckon the impact would be? I can tell you from experience, it's huge. So many of my students, when they go back to their own businesses, their businesses explode. All right, so even if I'm half right, guys, you're going to be smiling ear to ear with the results that can occur. Now, this is the knowledge and the information that is responsible for the transformations that you've seen and still some to see. It is my life's work. This is my, if you like, my opus. This is a combination of literally millions upon millions of dollars of trial and error and me investing with the best minds on the planet. It's a combination of some of the greatest mentors I've ever worked with. And I believe it's just one of the most powerful methodologies and most systematic ways for you to create your own consulting practice. And part of it is you becoming, and again, I digress a little bit. I guess I didn't segue into this, but part of it is you really being recognized very quickly as being an expert and authority in your field. And I do help you in that way by giving you your own book, white label rights to your book. So when you learn these skills, you are going to develop knowledge that only the top 5% of business owners are aware of. You're going to have the ability to make money out of thin air, quite literally. Now, I guess if you're still on this call and on this training, you stayed this long, then you must be seeing a lot of sense in what I'm sharing with you. So if you do want to attract ideal clients to your business and position yourself as an expert in your niche, be able to convert your prospects into high-paying clients without being a pushy salesperson. Nothing worse than that. In fact, many of your prospects will actually seek out your assistance and say, look, could you help me with that? That's one of the ways we actually develop the sales process. Isn't that cool? If you without you having to sort of use all these manipulative closing tactics, you sort of really put such a compelling case in front of them. You go, man, I'd love some help with that. And you want to create a real consulting practice that's got a real potential to generate 6 or 7 figures without massive capital or overheads or staff. I tell you what, this is specifically designed for you. I'm going to give you all of my lead generation systems and teach you how to implement them, hold you by the hand and help you execute them and ask you to show them to me before you launch anything. I'm going to be teaching you my sales system. This is the sales system. The same principle I use here is exactly the same formula and principle I used in my other large companies that I've grown, the same science, and miraculously, it's a very similar conversion rate. So we're going to teach you this sales system and you'll be able to apply that very, very effectively. So even if you don't think you're a salesperson, guess what? You don't have to be. That's the good news. In fact, sometimes it's a hindrance because you can come across too slick. And I'm going to be giving you my business optimization systems so that you'll be able to help businesses get results. And again, I'm on the bat phone all the time. You are not on your own. You're getting the exact system I use this very day. So what's the investment, you might be asking, by getting access to my consulting business? Well, it's a good question to ask, and I'm about to share it with you. But I feel you need a good frame of reference first. I mean, so how much is it? Well, compared to what? So let's just take a moment and consider some alternatives for generating some income. So you may want to perhaps buy a cafe. Some of you may know some people that have purchased franchise from different coffee franchises, and I won't specify certain names, but maybe some of you have heard some horror stories. But Have a look at this. So for a typical cafe, and these are actual businesses that I pulled off the web, they weren't made up. You'd be looking at investment of maybe 350K plus for a decent one, and you're going to be getting returns of maybe somewhere around about $77,000, $80,000, 10 to 18%. That's the stats on coffee shops. By the way, they're one of the highest failure rates in business is restaurants and coffee shops. So that's one option for you. And again, if you think of a franchise, guess what? When they say shop fit out time, well, kiss a lot of money goodbye. You could be looking at 100K, 200K shop fit out alone. What about you buying a gym? That's an option as well. And again, many gyms, many prices. This one here's 130K plus stock at value. So all of the equipment, and that equipment ain't cheap. So maybe, just maybe, you're looking at 200K. And they reckon 20% on that on your return. And they reckon, you know, many times 2 to 3 years before you start to break even in the business, and maybe you're making 80 or 100,000 profit. What sort of hours are you looking at doing in the cafe or in the gym? How many staff will you need to manage? What do you need to worry about when that's happening? Or maybe you want to go to uni and do an MBA for a number of years. Spend 4 years at uni, go to Bond University. Well, it's going to set you back about 160K. And when you get that magic piece of paper, the starting salary, according to pay scale, is around $80,000 for you having that MBA. So maybe that's an option for you. I don't know if you want to go down the academic path, but I want to just give you a few frames of reference of what is really involved in you being able to generate a 6 or 7 figure income. And I mean, really have the potential to do that. You know, so when you've now got that frame of reference, get a load of this. You're going to probably be laughing at it. Is that all? I reckon it should be massively more expensive than this. But the investment, well, it's going to depend on how much assistance you want from me. I've actually got different levels in the advisor program. We've got the investment starting from 25K, and that starts with the gold level, where in fact I'm running one very short, and I'll cover off on that. So we've also got the next level up, which is the diamond. And so obviously that's more of an investment, but I take you away for a week to Fiji and do very, very intensive training, and also bring special guests with me that have a certain skill set, so that it really is a transformation. I kid you not. People just come back raving from the Fiji experience. So it doesn't. I don't know how much assistance you're looking for, but I can tell you what to do next. If you're loving this and you're still on this call, you can click the link in the chat box. Now, I'm going to do something super non-transitional here. I'm going to put a link into your chat box in a second. And when you click that link, it'll take you to an application form, and we'll have a conversation to see what is the best solution for you, how much assistance you would like, if we are a good fit, if you meet my criteria and I meet yours. So right now, I'm just looking in the chat box, so bear with me. So where are we? There we go. So have a look, and you're going to see something pop up in your window. It might be a little red dot or something along those lines, and there's a link there. I'm going to now go back to the slide. There should be a link happening in your chat box as we speak. You're going to be able to develop the skills to create a 6 or 7 figure income for yourself without the high overheads or staff. And quite honestly, it's a small investment, as I think you're able to see now. And again, see that link there that's on the screen? I hope you can all still see it. So you start getting results very fast, guys. I mean, my record at the moment, I think, is about 5 days from when they finish the training and they get their first paying client. Again, here's just some of my success stories. And I'm going to actually just play some of their stories at the end of this. I'll get a video reel running for you so you can see from them firsthand rather than from me what they thought of the result. Now, again, I promised all of you, if you're still on this call, I promised you a gift. It's a copy of my book. Now, the way you get that book is you go to the page, the application page, and it's going to look like this. When you click that link, you're going to get a page that comes up like this. Okay, so this is the application page here. And if you scroll down to the bottom, you're going to see a blue button that says your free gift, click here. And when you click that, that's going to take you to an order page where you'll be able to get a copy of my book. And again, as I promised, I'll send it to you for free. People pay I think it's $27.95 for it. You're going to get it for absolute nix, nothing, nada. You just got to put your details in there and I'll send it to you, because I did promise if you stayed to the end, there'd be a reward for you. And guys, readers, if you're serious about success in business, I don't know what you're looking at, but you're going to get massive benefit. You're going to see all of the strategies and the ideas that I've implemented into my companies in the past for me to get the success that I've achieved. Okay, so again, that's what happens. So you click on that link, okay, the 7-Figure Academy /SBA-EOI-form, and you're going to be able to get access, and I'll send you that book. Now, again, it's Australia Post, so give us sort of 14 days to get it to you, can you? But it doesn't end there. I really work with you side by side. So we have fortnightly live Q&A webinars and training webinars where I hold you accountable, and as you're seeing your clients, you come back and you talk with us, and we get together and brainstorm, and I give you solutions. And you also get access to a hot phone. So if you're stuck, I'm only a phone call away, and I can help you get you out of trouble if you need to know something urgently. So it's really important to have that support group there, guys, because so many times the world's out there telling you can't do things. Well, the reason we do these continuous Q&As is so that you got that support mechanism there, and have people that show you that you can get these things in if you want them. There's also a very powerful membership site with a plethora of knowledge in there that are going to show you how to do the things that we're sharing, that we're teaching you now. Now, this training, it goes over 4 days. It's at the Gold Coast. And for 4 days, I teach you my business model. So I've put it over a weekend because many of you said, number one, you may wonder why I've got this training happening. Well, many of you said, I can't travel overseas to Fiji. I can't get 7 days off. Can't you do it on the weekend? And again, one of the secrets to success is listen to your clients. And so hesitantly, I developed the 4-day training and I trialed it because I was worried would I be able to get the knowledge imparted effectively. And well, the good news is, yes, I can. I did an extraordinary job, and I'm real excited about the results that are coming from these people now. So again, that's the link. I am limiting it to 7 students, ladies and gentlemen, because I want to make sure I've got time to teach all of you. So now you've seen the success stories. You know this is not make-believe anymore. This is possible for all of you. And you can see the massive leverage that this business model has. That's why I revealed what I decided to do when I cranked up. You know, you get the knowledge. It's all excellent value for you. And I hold nothing back. So as I develop new ideas and new strategies, guess what? You're getting them. And it's real time because I'm trying new things in my business and then I'm sharing them with you. Now, I've also got another gift for you. For those that really love this and want to act quickly, put your application in and you join me and you pay in full, we've got another fantastic gift. And that is we're going to do your graphics for you and your branding for you so you look $1 million. So you're going to get the white label rights to this book. It's an incredible book so that you're instantly regarded as an expert when you're talking with clients. So instantly perceived as the dude that knows what they're up to and can help them. But normally that just comes as the white label and you got to do your own, you know, graphics, et cetera, and arrange all of that. Well, we're going to get all of this print ready for you. We're going to do your stationery for you. We're going to create your business cards for you. And see these free reports here? Well, you actually receive these free reports. Again, you receive them in your system. These are assets for you. They're so powerful. When you send these to clients, just again, imagine someone's showing an interest. They're a business owner. They've got a bit of a challenge and they need more clients. And you just hand them a report like this that looks $1 million like this is. 4 hot marketing strategies that can flood your business with customers. Now, when you hand them that and a copy of your book, believe me, are they going to quibble about price? Are they going to think that you just may have the ability to assist them? So we've got 15 of these free reports that are all yours electronically, and you're going to be able to modify them as you want. It's as I said, my whole consulting practice it's a combination of so many of my mentors and myself and the utilization of them. We're going to do all this branding for you. This is for the first 3 that I accept into the program that pay in full. You're going to get all of this as a gift from me to you once you finish the training. Okay, so it is very, very powerful. Now, if all of this did was just get you, say, 2 clients. You remember they're paying $3,000 a month. Well, 12 threes, that's $36,000. That's $72,000. Okay, well, the investment starts from $25,000. I don't know how many of you have been looking at business for a while, but it's generally accepted that you don't even expect to start to make a profit until your second or third year when you buy a new business. Well, guys, this is why so many of my clients, I want to see all of you recoup your money within the first 60 to 90 days. And, as long as you execute exactly as I ask you to and put the effort in as I ask you to, I can't see why you wouldn't, unless you just sit on the lounge and look at the box and don't do anything. Goodness me. So here's a recap. You get my whole consulting practice. You get my whole blueprint. You're going to get 4 days of training on the Gold Coast. From the 12 months access to the membership site, 12 months of Q&A, fortnightly webinars live with yours truly. And again, the first 3 that pay in full are going to get the ultimate Street Smart positioning system. Okay, so this is what it looks like. These are your assets. They've been reworked. I do a lot of work on the online side of things, guys. I want to make sure that you guys understand the power of online marketing. And so we cover off and get you up to speed in that area. Now, this is one of my advisors that I've trained, did the diamond training, and we did his branding for him. That's what it looks like when you do it. And he's really starting to kick some serious goals now. He's got the potential to be one of my superstar advisors. Anyway, so apply now, guys. I mean, what do you got to lose? Have a chat with me. That's the link. Fill in the application form, answer a few simple questions. We'll be having a conversation and see if and how this is a good fit and if we can help each other. If you get accepted to it, the knowledge, I promise you, it's going to change your life. It's really going to have a massive impact for you. Now, I've pretty well given you everything I've got. I hope you're far wiser now. And I think the best way for you to realise that this is not fairyland, you can develop the sort of income you want and the lifestyle you want if you go after it. So the best way to do that is just to hear from other consultants that have gone before you and let them share their story and what they've achieved. And so I've just put a few of them together here for you to listen to. And again, you see the link down below. When you click that link, that'll take you to the application page. But in the meantime, I'm sure you're going to enjoy the stories from just a few of the advisors. And again, my strike rate, my success rate is such a high proportion. And I'd love you to be a part of it. So again, guys, I've had a blast. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I'm going to leave you with these success stories. I'm so proud of these people. I'm just proud to say I had a small part to play in the transformation of their lives. And just maybe, if I'm the right person at the right time for you, I can start to help you change your situation as well. So have a listen to these guys. Fill in that application form now, and let's have a conversation.
I had a big project management business that I had started in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, and the GFC killed it. It was a mid-7-figure business, and then owed a lot of money, so I came back to Australia. I managed to get a consulting role for a large public company in resources, and at the beginning of last year they went bankrupt, owing me another ton of money after having spent 7 days a week running a big project for them. Owed literally millions of dollars, and thought not doing corporate again. I'm over 50, and then of course after all of that, it's very difficult. You can't get a job. The only option is obviously figure out what can you do for yourself. First time I got the email from Ian, it was to actually have a system to earn 6 or 7 figures and have a life. I thought, wow, that sounds really good, and it's something that I can do. There's a cost to even doing Ian's course, and at the time I was owed so much money and I didn't have it. But I signed up anyway and figured one way or another I'll get it. After 12 months it was almost like a light switch, learning how to work with the right client and attract them to you. Then it's really started to ramp up very quickly in the last few months. Very much on track to mid-6 figures again. Writing compelling copy and then someone gives you money. That's quite a nice thing.
Hello, my name is Scott Kilpatrick, and I've got a company called Affordable Quality Homes, and I wanted to send you this email to say thank you. I know nobody's asked me, and nobody's suggested that I should do, I don't know what you'd call this, a testimonial, I suppose, I just really wanted to say thank you for all the Street Smart advisors have done for my company. It's made a massive change. Not only are we running very profitably, extremely profitably in fact, it's made such a dramatic change there with our marketing and our systems, but also Street Smart has made it so for the first time in our lives, my wife and I can have time off. In fact, big result.
So what sort of dollars are we talking, Dean? What do you call a big result?
I'd say it's increased our sales per month. A combination of these strategies by the tune of $300,000 a month.
Hi, my name's Chantel Mader. I'm winner of the Street Smart Business Advisor of the Year, and I'm here in fabulous Cook Islands. And I just wanted to share some of my experience with you in being a business advisor. If you're thinking about becoming a business advisor, obviously, I won this trip with the Cook Islands in taking out Business Advisor of the Year and get to share that with my husband. So I'm absolutely stoked about that. But just some of the things, if you're considering in becoming a business advisor, it really is a great lifestyle. You get to jet all around the country and stay in fabulous hotels, and you get to make a real bottom line difference, not only to the business people that you work with, and you get to help their families as a consequence, and there's nothing more rewarding.
Hi, my name is Christine Vernon, and I've been part of the Street Smart Business Advisors program, and I found that I've learned a whole lot of stuff in marketing that I've never even thought about or even knew. I've been through a university, done 3 degrees, and it's not taught me anything about marketing at all. I've done an MBA, which is just hopeless. And what I've learned today for the last week or so has been just fabulous. I've learned so much of marketing that I can use for my own clients and for my own business. It's going to make me $1 million. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tracy Eaton.
I'm Yvette Shoulders.
And we're Street Smart Business Advisors. Now, before we joined the program, we'd actually hit rock bottom in our business. We'd been in business since 2007. We were at zero, and in fact, less than zero. We'd invested well over $100,000 of our own money into our business and into other training that hadn't worked. So, with help from Mal and Ian, we decided to join the Business Advisor program.
In the first 8 months, we went from below zero to earning a six-figure income.
Now our lifestyles improved dramatically. We're able to be there for our kids, be great role models for them as well for now and the future, which is very exciting. And we've achieved some great results for clients, including best sales day in a 33-year history, 17% response rates on campaigns, a confident business owner that now does her own marketing campaign.
Share with our viewers a little bit about who you are and I guess where you came from, Saffron.
Yeah, sure. Well, I didn't go to university or anything like that. I left school when I was 16. I actually went to college and studied economics. Didn't like it. Kind of flunked out of that. And just fell into becoming a secretary. I was a legal secretary for years, and by the time I was about 30, I decided that I didn't want to do that anymore. Yeah, so it's actually not long after I came to Australia that the relationship that I was in was, it was quite emotionally abusive. So the relationship broke down, and so that was quite a tough time.
You're in a new country. You and your husband have parted ways. You've got I think 2 children, yeah?
Yes, 2 children.
2 children, and so you've got to actually make ends meet on your own now. It's just great. Now, look, the end result. You wanted to. Your goal was to be working 4 days a week. Have you actually? What about what happened to your income, Saffron?
So I actually managed to double my income by becoming a business advisor.
Actually, I knew I wanted to be an engineer when I was 13. So I'm the sort of person that plans my entire life. Like, I plan everything. So at 13, I knew I wanted to design bridges. That was it. The thing I love about it is helping people. And that was always what I wanted to do. Ended up with an engineer as well, so he's a civil engineer too. But we knew that there was something else out there, and we ended up having a business. We were working 7 days a week, 5 days in engineering, 2 days in the business, and it was a lot of stress. It was actually, unfortunately, a passion business. So we fell in love with it. It was a blueberry farm up in Coffs Harbour, beautiful place. And we imagined we were going to retire there, build our house there. We got taken for a ride. Our money got stolen, and it was heartbreak. It was so stressful that Steve couldn't sleep at all, and we still had to pay for 50 employees. So we still had to get everything running, the business going. It was the most devastating, well, I thought it was the most devastating day of my life. It wasn't. The next day, he had a heart attack. That was when I actually came to Street Smart, and that was when we started applying systems in place. And just to tell you the truth, I got told it was an ugly business. And I'm actually really, really glad that we listened, because we sold that business. I actually sold it for a profit. That's what made me realise that there are other people out there that don't know what to do in their business. So there are other people out there that need that help. And that's when I found Ian. And that's when he told me about the advisor program and told me you can really help people and change their lives. And that was it. That was my tipping point, my turning point. I knew that that's what I wanted to do, and to help people and to take control of our lives as well. So when you help an actual business, it changes not only their business, it changes their entire lives and the community and their family, and that's why I do it. That's why it's inspiring for me.
I'm really happy to have on the call today a good friend of mine, an individual that has really lived the principles that we do our best to share, and that is Glenn Twiddle. He's kindly agreed to come and have a conversation with us, and mate, I really do appreciate you taking time out and sharing your story and your journey to becoming a seven-figure business consultant and where that world has taken you to. So welcome to the call.
Thanks, Ian, and I tell you, mate, with an intro like that, I just can't wait to hear what I'm going to say. It's going to be awesome.
It comes from our absolute heart to say that we're here and we're telling you guys to actually listen to what Ian and Mel and the Street Smart crew have got to say. Follow it to the letter. Don't think too much about it and just do it. With all the things that are going on in your head at the moment with business, if you're doing it tough, those late nights where you're laying around tossing and turning, how are you going to make payroll? Stop concentrating on that and just listen to what Ian and Mel and the team at Street Smart have to say. And, you know, it's not one of these things that you can just go and do once. It's not a magic pill. It's not something you can just swallow and everything goes away. You've got to work hard at it. But if you do, you're incrementally going in the right direction, and then you can make that quantum leap. There's nothing worse than going flat out 100 mph an hour the wrong way. And with Street Smart, if you just go the direction that they say, concentrate on what they're doing, put everything else to one side and listen to them, it's going to work, guys.
Hi, my name is Mark. Look, I'd just like to get a message out to you. Just some personal experience of myself prior to the business course, the business advisors course. Look, not so long ago, it would have only been 12 months ago, I was working in a job. I was probably putting in 16-hour days, doing work that I didn't really enjoy. I was an engineer. It's not that I didn't like doing engineering. It was probably all the processes and the leadership around myself. And I felt that I didn't have any flexibility in life. I felt that I was very much in a rat race. I really didn't have any control of my life. I wanted to get my life back. I just wanted to have some freedom when I wanted to do. I wanted to live life on my own terms. I'm really passing this message out to you today because, firstly, I didn't think it was possible. And I thought that was all fiction. But I've actually can say that personally myself, that that's not the case. I decided to take upon the business advisors course. I was in a position where I really thought I'd take a chance. I wanted to give myself a go at something and to live life on my terms. I had natural reservations by taking the course. There was a big upfront fee, and I didn't know whether I'd be able to transform myself with the skills to be able to make big differences to businesses as a business advisor. My natural life or my education didn't represent business. Well, I can tell you firsthand, 4 months onwards, I have more business than I can handle, and I'm achieving far greater money than I ever did in my prior role. And it's only 4 months onwards. I can't thank Ian enough for the systems he provided me and the confidence and the support as well after the actual Business Advisors course, which has helped me live the life of my dreams where I wanted to be.